Ciao Fabio, come stai? Ciao e bentornato sul canale. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Sorry for that bit of Italian, I don't know what came over me. Maybe it's this scooter. Today we're gonna take a look at the retro-inspired scooter from Sym. The Sym Fiddle IV, which takes its inspiration from a certain Italian brand. Let's not beat around the bush. It looks almost exactly like a Vespa, which is not a bad thing. Because if you're after for that retro style look to your city scooter, the Fiddle gives you about 90% of the looks for about 60% of the cost. This Fiddle IV currently in 125cc form with a factory included top case, full LED lighting, comes in at around 3,000 euros. Now, as usual, we are gonna take a look at it from front wheel to back wheel and see what this pasta-inspired machine from Taiwan, not from Italy, is all about. Come on, let's take a look at it. Starting up front, we have a daytime running light, an LED, a small little strip here. We have this plastic cover that looks like stitched leather. Gives it a bit of a nicer accent, but it's plastic. We have up front a full LED headlight that's high and low beam. We have regular indicators, but we do have hazard lights on this one, so you can put the hazards on if you want to. Up front we have a 12-inch wheel with a 226mm brake disc with a dual piston caliper, and this is one thing that's different from the Vespa, a regular style fork. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The thing with a regular style fork is that it's a lot cheaper to make than the single-sided fork that you see on a Vespa. It's a lot cheaper to make and thus bringing the cost of the whole scooter down quite a lot. In the back, we have LED rear lights, both brake and position light. We have halogen turn signal indicators. We have this curved fairing that's truly Italian in its inspiration. Regular 125cc engine, air-cooled, 11 horsepower, about 10 newton-meters of torque. And also on the rear we have a 220mm brake disc with a single piston caliper. Now, another thing that's a bit of a cost-cutting measure, and I would have liked to see it on, but it's not present, is ABS. The scooter does not have ABS. It does have a combined braking system. That means when you pull the front lever, it also acts on the brake lever, but it does not have ABS. Also, on this particular model, we have a factory included top case that, like on my Symphony ST, the ignition key also works to open the top case. The top case is a regular deal for Sym. It's a SHOD SH33. Coming around to the dash, we have on the right side the hazard lights, the engine start button, the front brake and the throttle, as usual. We have a digital dash display that shows us our speed, our current fuel level, our total kilometers, trip meter, oil meter, clock, and voltmeter. On the left-hand side, we have our check engine light, our oil check light. On the right-hand side, we have our fuel light and our high and low beam light. Also, the turn signal indicators are indicated here, and they do make a noise. Coming around to the left side, we have our horn, we have our indicators, and we also have our high and low beam. Moving down, we have a luggage hook. You can use it to put a bag on the floor because it does have a flat floor. We also have our key. The key has a locking mechanism, so you can lock the entrance and then use this part. Let me see. This part of the key. This part of the key to simply, let's see if we can do this. Put it here, and now it's unlocked. And also, from the off position, if you push down, turn to the right, we also have our fuel door. Under the seat, we have a decently sized storage. The battery is located right here in the back. That's because the fuel tank is in the floor, as on my ST. And also what I did forget is you have a USB charger up on the dash near the fuel door. But the underseat storage is... Now the problem is you could fit a helmet in here if it's not a very tall helmet. So because the seat is not very deep. That's because the seat itself is not very high, so it makes it accessible for a lot of ladies who are, let's say, vertically challenged. They can easily flat foot this scooter and get around town without any kind of problems. But that does come with the caveat of having a not so tall underseat storage. It's big, but it's not tall. But you do have the top case in the back, which has a backrest, which is a 33-liter top case and will fit just about any helmet you could possibly buy. And that's about it for a quick look at the Fiddle. Like I've said, it's a retro-inspired scooter. 99% of people won't be able to tell the difference between this one and a true bread and butter Vespa. They will all think it's a Vespa because normal people that aren't into motorcycles won't know how to look for the single-sided front fork or the Piaggio badge or something like that. So you get 99% of the looks for about 60% of the cost, which is pretty good in my book. Also, you have a flat floor, you have a luggage hook, you have a USB charger, you have LED lights, you have a digital dash, a fuel-injected engine, a top case on this model that comes from factory, all included in the €3,000 price. And also, like I've said, although the underseat storage is pretty big, it's not very tall, but that does help when you're on it. Put it off the center stand. Oh yeah, the scooter comes with a side stand and a center stand. So we had the center stand and we have the side stand. When you're on the scooter, the seat is very low. Like I've said, if I'm on my riding position, I can almost flat foot the scooter with a bend in my knee. If I stretch out, I can flat foot it, no problem. And I am just 175 centimeters tall. So if you're 160, 165, you're probably gonna reach something like this, but you will be able to ride it no problem. The scooter is light, the weight is nice and low. You can easily balance it without any kind of problem. Honestly, it's a toy. But let's take it out around the yard and see how it rides. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you want to make your Fiddle 4 look like an Italian pasta rocket, a biscotti munching machine, well, with €500, check it out. Check it out. We've got a big-ass Italian windscreen. We've got the fender guard chrome, the side guards, the rear crash bars. We've got the spring-loaded baggage rack for that true Italian passion. Alrighty. Riding the Pasta Rocket Sym Fiddle IV 125. First impressions out of the bat, with the 12-inch wheels, it's a little bit bumpy on this uneven surfaces we have here in the yard. But the scooter doesn't get unsettled. Let's see here. Bumpy. Yep. It is bumpy, but doesn't get unsettled. The front fork works nicely. You do have dual shocks on the rear in this 125cc variant, and they do their job pretty nicely. But the upside of having 12-inch wheels is the fact that it makes the scooter extremely nimble. It's very easy to chuck it from left to right. It's actually quite fun, quite enjoyable, quite nice to chuck it around, which makes it extremely agile in city traffic. And with the narrow handlebars, you can easily get around traffic, no problem. Also, again for the traffic, these retro-inspired wing mirrors, nice and round, are also big. They're not just nice and round, they're also big, and it gives you a very nice a very clear image of what's behind you. And even on these bumps, they don't vibrate at all. I can clearly see what's behind me. No vibrations. In terms of power plant, it's the same 125cc air-cooled 11 horsepower engine that Sym has, and it works a treat, especially in this light frame. The frame is the same frame that they use on the Sym Orbit, the Sym X Pro, what else? The Sym Crocs, they used to use it. It's the same frame that they use in the scooter, so it's a very well established frame in the Sym lineup. All they did to it, to this scooter, is giving it a bit of a nicer finish, nicer buttons, retro styled, that takes nothing away from the usability of the scooter, the usability of the frame. And coupled with the bottom mounted fuel tank that keeps the weight of the scooter nice and low, the 12-inch wheels, it makes it extremely chuckable, and this engine complements it really nicely, because this is a 125cc 11 horsepower dual valve engine, single overhead cam, fuel injected. It's not a particularly special engine, but it's a very eager engine. It's very eager to get in the revs. It's very eager to gain speed. And for such a light little scooter, it makes it extremely agile. It makes it quite a lot of fun to get it up in the revs and really hoon about in it. And then when you are done hooning, you can look, you can ride around the city looking like a true Italian conscious style person. Like when you take it out in the city in the evening, at night, to go out for a cup of coffee like all Italians do, or at least I think they do. If you're from Italy, drop a comment down below and tell me, do you guys go to coffee all the time on your scooters? But just about everywhere you want to go, maybe take your lady friend out for a nice evening out on the town in your VESPA looking Taiwanese scooter that works all the time. You have a warranty on it. You've paid half the price of a regular Vespa, but you get the looks. You get that look, that Italian flair, that mamma mia that we also desire when we want a retro-inspired scooter. Let's face it, if you want a retro-inspired scooter, you want a Vespa. That's what you want. And 99% of people won't know the difference between this and a Vespa. They'll have no idea. They'll think you do have a Vespa. And that is, in my book, is cheating the system. You don't have to pay 5,000 euros for a Vespa. You can pay 3,000 for this one. You get great under-seat storage. You get a top case included. It's a shod top case, so it's a pretty well-built quality top case. You get a nice, pokey, eager engine, frugal on fuel, about 3 liters per 100 kilometers in terms of fuel consumption. A well-established frame that's very maneuverable, very light, very chuckable. And you can have your fun. You can have your biscotti and also eat it. But that has been just about it for the Sym Fiddle IV. This Taiwanese Italian wannabe. The only thing it's missing is a Piaggio badge, and then you could charge 5,000 euros for it. But because it has a Sym badge, you only have to pay 3,000 for it. And enjoy your pasta, your biscottis, your pizza, your mamma mia, cappuccino, and have a lot of fun doing so. Until next time, guys, take care out there and ride safe. Goodbye.